folks, and welcome to another episode of Michael in the Backyard. We're out here with a Ford 550 today backhoe. You've been following me for a minute now. You've probably seen 3 to 4, maybe 5 episodes by now of me messing around with this old Ford, possibly doing some digging by now, and, you know, flexing its muscle, as it were. So we're starting to do some maintenance on it. I've burned about 20 gallons of fuel through it, about 20 hours of operation so far. And I did change the oil filter. I did change the oil. I've topped off the reservoir, oil reservoir for the hydraulic fluid with about, so far, let's call it 6 gallons of fluid so far. I'm pretty sure about 6 gallons of fluid so far. We broke a hose. We replaced some hoses. More hoses are due to be replaced in the future. Guaranteed it. We got several of them that are cracked and stuff, so I'm going to systematically work my way through. I discovered a leak back on the backhoe up at the top where the extender hoe comes out. I was playing around with that the other day and I extended it out, and when I hit the maximum extension, I saw a psh, spray out. I'm like, no, another cut hose. So that's why there's a pin in there. I'd pulled the pin out to do some extend the hoe reach to see if I could get out there a little further, and it did, which is awesome. But I also saw that leak. Now I know where the leak's coming from. The pin is back in so that it's not relying on hydraulic pressure to hold that thing in place. The pin's holding it until I can replace that, which is fine. Today we're going to be doing a couple of things. I shouldn't say today, in this video, because as you can see, the sun has done set. The LED lights I have out here in the lean-to that we just put the gravel in here a week or so back has only 4 LED lights. It was just for storage, and now I've got a backhoe in here that won't fit in my shop, so I need to do some service work out of the weather. So we're going to use some lighting here, these lights, my other little LED light, and then I'll review the video in this part of it and see if I could continue to do things out here in not so stellar lighting conditions and still give you guys a good video. So what are we working on today? We're going to start this one off with this guy right here. Let's turn the light on, get a little better. Now that's the light flickering. There we go. We're nice and bright. This is the oil filter. The hydraulic oil filter, to be specific, is in here. I've never had this off before. Don't know what I'm getting into. But it appears that all I got to do is take off these 4 bolts here, and I can remove this. I'm not sure what this plug in the end does. I'm just to be honest with you folks, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm first-time owner of something like this, a piece of equipment like this. I'm learning as I go. I do the research as I go. There's not a whole lot of videos out there on the 550s or 555s. Captain Kleeman's out there. Yeah, he's got videos out there on what he's done to his. And I haven't stumbled across the one where he's done this part. But I want to do this, and then next I want to get the hood off of this thing. So it's bolted down, but I want to unbolt it. I got to remove the muffler to get that off. And then I want to just look at the engine from the top side. Inside here, you can barely see it. That white thing right there, that's the fuel filter. I've got a fuel filter already replaced. I haven't done that yet. So let me get you propped up here so you can get a view of this, what I'm doing. And then we'll just keep doing stuff until eventually we all know what we're doing. Oh, let's see if this is going to fit there. Can you see? Let's see. Right here's the filter. Yep. Magic right here. Okay. Tools on the ground. Well, that's tight. Goodness. Huh. I didn't want that to come loose. Jeepers, criminy. Might have to get my old cheater pipe out here. Oh, goodness. That's tight. Cheater pipe it is. It's going to break or not break. That's the 2 choices it has, I guess. Wow. Well, that's not good. Oh, this is turning, but that is not. And there's no reason why this would have left-hand threads on it, so this is just going to snap off. Just like that. Yeah. That's probably going to be the case with all of them. Then I'll be stuck getting bolts out of these holes. Dang it. What's this one going to do? I think a combination of, let's just call it, I'm guessing they were over tightened at one point in time. Oh, that one came loose. Nice. That one came loose. Yay. We're at 50% all of a sudden. Oh, how do you get at this guy? You got to go clear back here. And, oh, my goodness. What happened? So, the one light went dead. Where is this one at? Okay. It went dead, and I had to get another light, which is this light, which I like better from a bright light standpoint. And now let's see if we can get some more done. I knew once I started a project like this out here, I'd have to make 5 or 10 trips just to get all my crap gathered up. Oh, yes. Ratchet, please. Now, I'd get you guys down here to see exactly what I'm doing, but it's just for bolt heads. It's kind of boring. But I did notice this fitting here is a little damp. So we'll give that a little, get the wrenches on that and give that a little tightening to see if that makes anything any better. What's that drain plug go to? I want to pull it. Ooh-wee, what would that do to me? That's the engine. This got to be the transmission back here. Then where do you fill it? A man doesn't know yet. Oh, but I will. So you know how the old saying goes, you're one bolt away from a 10-minute job turning into an all-afternoon job. We're there. One broken bolt meter. But I might be able to get up there and weld on that one and get it out of the shop. Darn right, I'm going to try. Let's see, is this the right amount of extension here? That's too much extension. Let's try this one. Get up in here. There we go. Perfect length. Now let's see if I can get a perfect torque on it, you know? What is that cable hanging down underneath there? That's just begging to get ripped off. Oh my goodness. We got some work to do, folks. We got some work to do. That's what I'm trying to say. Oh, let's see here. Eat. All right. Well, we're in a 3 out of 4 situation. I thought it was going to be worse. Oh, damn. It's leaking all over. Catch it quick. Wasn't expecting that. That's what we got. Yep. Leaking. Well, it's all leaker. Okay. Now here I don't have any idea how much I'm going to lose. But one thing I do know is I'll probably have to top off the oil again. I hope I got the right filter. We'll see. Oh, wow. So there's an O-ring here that obviously still works. I hate to reuse it, but I think I'm going to have to because I don't have one. Good news is it's a coarse thread bolt. I might have one. There she goes. All right. Filter out. That's probably right in you guys' field of vision. Maybe not. This is the old heater, block heater plug. The good news is it looks like I have the right filter. It does have an O-ring around that surface, which is cool. So that just goes bam. Yep. There we go. Let's go see if we can get this broken bolt out. I'm highly confident I can. We'll just kind of place this over some things here to kind of keep the, let's just say keep the dust down a minute, huh? I'll take one of these bolts up to the shop to see if I have more of them. Don't worry, you guys are coming with me. I won't leave you out here by yourself. It's getting scary after dark. All right, let's get up there to the shop. The other shop. The shop, the other shop. Now this is a square O-ring in here. So we're going to have to be gentle with it because we're going to put it back in. It's definitely not this O-ring's first rodeo. But what we're going to do is we'll put it back in. We'll watch for leaks for sure. And we'll go from there. Now what you're going to see me do here is what you've seen a lot of other people do. There's two things I want to do here when I'm doing this. I'm going to weld this nut. I got one that fits over this bolt. I'm going to weld this nut securely to this bolt. That's going to do one thing for sure. It's going to give me a way to get onto it. Okay, two things. Get onto it, and it's going to drive heat down into here. Now, this is aluminum, and it's got a bond going on right now that we need to break that bond. The other thing I can do, if that doesn't seem to work, is I can beat on this a little bit and kind of shock that metal and stretch it just a hair. Keep in mind, it doesn't have to move much to break the bond going on there. So let's get my welder hooked up over here somehow. Yep. Okay, right. Yeah, that'll work. Now we got the welder set to kill. We got her fairly hot. I want to burn it in quick and fast and just give it all the onions. That should do it. Now it's got a lot of heat that's going down in there. I'll give her a little shot of PB. Oh yeah. Talk to me. That's right. You're hot. You know it. Yep. It moved. It's moving. It broke off. Didn't move at all, did it? Okay, one more. Some of you might ask, how many times are you going to do that? The answer is, as many as it takes. What did I do with my Michael Jacksons? There they are. These might look a little sassy because they're bright white, but man, they are a really comfortable, thin leather TIG welding glove that I just love. is to give you all my dexterities, all of them. Let's try it again. Hey, that helps when you don't have the gas on. That's going to be a juicy good weld. Nope. Sometimes, not all the time, when it's hot, you can get things to move a little bit too. Shock also helps. Shock is your friend. So sometimes I'll take this. I don't want to beat on this. I just want to. What this song needs is more cowbells. Hey, cowbells. Oh, what this song needs is more cowbells. Now with that in mind, we're just going to use the little ugga-dugga. We're just going to use the next size up ugga-dugga. Broke it off. I knew that was going to happen. That was a pretty bad weld. This time we got the gas on. Now, what should somebody have put in here when they put it back together? Never sees. Again, she's nice and blue down there now. Now another little thing we can do, there's all kinds of trickeries here, guys. Let's hit this with the torch. Why? Because this is aluminum, and its coefficient for expansion is much greater than the steel, the bolt that's inside it. So we can make this thing grow and outrace and outpace the growth of the steel that's currently hot. So we're causing all kinds of disruption to that bond that thinks it wants to keep that bolt in that hole. And it don't take very many degrees for the aluminum to go crazy on it. The next thing you know, voila! I win again. Now we can take off the old Michael Jacksons. Turn off the noisy welder. And then, man, there's a lot of dusty, crusty stuff in there. Now what I want to do is find a tap and chase these threads. That appears to be the right size. It is a coarse thread bolt. I'll take my handy dandy calipers here. 432. 437 is 7/16, so that's a 7/16 14 thread. So we're going to spray a little something in there. Now this is just to clean out the crusty rusties and My drop cord's currently out in my shed, but not needed when I got the EcoFlow here. Yeah. We got wire wheelage. I'm going to clean that piece off real quick, but I got to get the nasty off of it. And we'll flush the inside of this out really good before I put it back on as well. There, maybe I can hold on to it. Now this is a nice soft wheel. Nothing crazy aggressive at all. I really like this wheel. It's lasted me a long time. And here again, I'm not getting aggressive. I'm just knocking off the surface. Any of the crusty musties off of here. It cleans it up real nice without taking any metal off. Looks pretty darn good to me. Now I'm going to take and flush it out with brake clean. Now, you old fellers that's been around the block a while know exactly what I just did, the whole process. It's like, well, yeah, that's what you do every time. Now, there might be some of you going, Michael, I don't have the tools you have. I don't have. What you have is more important than tools right now. You have the knowledge that I just put upon yous. So take that. Now, what I'm doing to put never sees in a hole. And when I say I've given you knowledge, here's what I've given you. You saw the process of putting a nut on there, welding it. Now, you may not know how to weld, but I'll guarantee you there's somebody you know, or there's a shop nearby, a job shop nearby that you can go talk to and go, hey, here's what I got going on. Do you guys know how to get this stud out of here? And if they say no, they say, didn't you tell them, hey, can I trade you some knowledge for getting that out of there, on how to get that out of there, and you can get it done for other people and charge them more money, make more money. And they'll go, well, sure, what do you know, buddy? Let's try it. Well, you take yourself a handful of nuts, right? Like I just had there, they were probably 1/2 inch. And I wasn't worried about sticking the welder to this piece because this piece is aluminum. But any shop that's worth its effort, right, is going to have possibly a welder. And you saw what I had there. I didn't have a fancy torch. I just had a regular little propane held propane torch. And then weld those nuts on. They might have an impact. You don't have to have an impact. Just that shock helps. Hitting on it with a hammer after you weld it, that's some sort of shock as well. Heating this up, all that disrupts that bond heavily. And you saw everything. I just walked you through it step by step, how to get it out. Now, you should never sees gets on everything. One of my loyal watchers and commenters left a comment once, and he knows who he is or she is. Pretty sure it was a he. Only 7% of my audience is female on the other channel. On this channel, it's just a sausage fest over here. But he said, I'm pretty sure a bottle of Never Seas could cover the entire planet. I can't disagree. All right, I'm just cleaning up the excess off the surface here, just trying to keep the spread to a minimum. But anyway, like I said, you don't have to have all the tools. The most powerful tool you can have is right here in your head, right? And what you learn and what you can take to others and go, you may not have the tools, and you go, hey, I saw a guy do this. I saw a guy do this. Are you willing to try it with me? And if they say no, that's not the people you want to work with anyway. The people that say yes. Now, I learned how to do this. Wow-wee. 39 years ago. And I've used it almost every year since, at least once. I used it almost every week in the previous job I had years and years ago to learn the knowledge. Now, I've got my original 7/16 bolts here ready to go in to here, but these bolts aren't ready. I don't have any new 7/16. this long. They can be this long or hair longer so it comes out flush on this end, but I coated this thing with Never See. So when I put the next bolt in there, it's not going to lock up like that. I do wish I had a new O-ring. This one's pretty clean. It's pretty undamaged. And when I put it back in here, I'm pretty confident it's going to stick above the surface still, like it does. So when I clamp it down with the bolts, and don't tighten the bolts down until they almost break off. I'm not so sure that one that I broke off was too tight because the other three came apart decently. It's just the bond that and the corrosion that it may have had in there. Because that hole, when it came out, it was pretty gnarly. So I'm going to have to run to the old bolt store, pick me up another. Boy, I got time to do that tonight. Because then I could get back here, put that on, and call that task complete. Complete. Well, I went to the hardware store, got me some new bolts. On top of that, I bought a pocket cheeseburger. Yep. Gotta have some supper sometime. Can't just live on dreams and hopes and desires. It's all flat and like it's been in my pocket. Don't you hate it when you realize you turn your camera on and there's only 7% battery and you got to go back up, take the long, shameful walk back up to the shop to get more battery? Oh, that wasn't good at all. Dang it. That was stupid. I put that bolt right through the hole and dirt came out. My own worst enemy sometimes, I tell you what. All right, let's get this back on before we do any more stupid stuff. That's good. Run your hand right through the grease, Michael. Oh, that was dumb. I did that again. Yeah, perfect. Just the right amount of torquelators on it. Now I'm going to wipe this all off so it's dry to see if I can see any drippages. Because we don't want any leaks. One by one. I will cure each leak. Let's fire it up and see what happens, I guess. What else is there to do? I have to admit, starting this thing up is kind of fun. But I did notice something else when I was underneath it. There's a giant filter under there. And I'm curious as to what that one is. Okay. Up and in. This isn't the most climb-in friendly vehicle. I know it's dark in here, ain't it, guys? It's a little crooked there, but you get the idea. Let's go take a look and see if it's leaking at all. Seems to go up and down just fine, which is good. I dropped the washer. Let's see what we got. There's a lot of smoke. Everything looks pretty dry. Perfect. I like. Now what I see over here, you guys can see it right there. I see the tip of another filter. I need to see what that's all about. The good news is that filter is done and it doesn't leak. That's a success. Well, the night's pretty young yet. I'm right here. We're gonna go ahead and take the bolts off. There's 1, 2, those are already out. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 bolts total that hold this hood on. And I'm predicting, what the heck is that? I think they're all 7/16. Hopefully they all come out. Looks like there's a couple of them broken off. Might have to drive this up to the old shop and get the, you know, the old welder a hold of these bolts and get a couple more of these bolts drug out of their broke off home. I will admit the air is a little messed up out here right now with the diesel smoke hanging in the air. Some of you might be asking, why am I taking the hood off? Well, I haven't had it off. And I just kind of want to see what's going on underneath there. Get a cleaner, easier access to the air filter for the first time. Make sure I can order the right one of those guys. Soon enough, it's going to be unbearably cold out here. I like to have all this type of stuff taken care of. Well, we got to take this muffler off because the muffler is bigger than this. And I'm wondering if this is the right muffler for this. Because it looks like the hole would be big enough if it was, you know what I'm saying? Just don't think it is. The one thing I can say about it, though, is it is nice and quiet. Ooh-wee. City. Hold me up. Well, there's still 2 over here, but they were behind. Now they're on the wrong side of things. The other side had big old fender washers. What the heck? One broken bolt over there wants to hang up a little bit. Why do you hate me so much? Goodness. Well, now I can see in here. Can you guys see in here? What the heck is that? So that's the air intake. Looks like there's a filterage thing over on this side. Well, I know what I dropped a little bit ago, and I heard it fall like a wrench or a small tool. My dang gas cap, fuel cap. It's on the ground somewhere, or how is this supposed to come out of here? You take the bolt off and then what? What? Give up your secret, you little monster. I'm gonna have to get some vice grips on you. Am I? Okay, vice grips, you asked for it. You're gonna get it now. I warned you. I wanted to play nice. There we go. At least that tab's welded on good enough to move it. Here we go. There's filter one. Pretty dirty. It is twice blessed with a filter. And then I can't get, okay. 9/16 wrench maybe. All right, little feller, get out of there. There we go. I wouldn't call them horrible. Ain't gonna see no light through them though. Definitely help it breathe better by putting some new ones in. So we got these two guys. Yep. Get those ordered. Now, fellers, what is this? Well, this is the exhaust. It comes right on up into this. And then it's got this other little curly Q thing here. What is it? And look at here. See that? Spin something in that. Through this. Down into the intake. What? That's not a turbo, is it? The books don't mention anything about a turbo. Just looks like a turbo though, which is kind of cool. What is it? Is it some kind of a... I don't know. We definitely need a new belt. So we're going to pull that off next. Get you guys right down in the nitty gritty here, maybe. Looks like I loosened this bolt up right here. And the alternator can articulate. I hope. Yeah, there we go. Perfect. Create enough slack in the belt so I get the belt off. So I'd really like to take the belt with me. Well, it's been a minute since I've been back out on Big Mo. If you followed my channel at all, you've seen that there has been some trailer work done. And a car, maybe some automobile work done. And I had to get that trailer out of the way. I had to get it, it's not done yet. But it's, 75% to the finish line, which is awesome. And I had to get it out of my way so I can, do the next big thing I want to do with Big Mo in the shop. Now, the whole tractor won't fit in the shop, but pieces of it will that I got to work on. So we're back out here, and we're going to put the air filter back in. I learned something about that sun is bright, and I'm not complaining because I'm out here in the daylight finally. It's after work, and I got home in a decent hour. And I can't see you guys, but I hope you can see me okay. I got the air filters. Those are not cheap air filters. This guy here, little thin filter, right? Let's look inside this one. I'll show you it next. Don't want this to get dirty. Stick it back in its hole. Get there. There we go. Stay there. Let's, oh, don't you hate it when you leave your cutting device in the house? Ugh. Now, I got these off of Napa, out of Napa. Yeah, I'll have to show you the other one. Yeah, the other one is really, that's where that came from. There was one of these. So how is that supposed to work? Is there supposed to be another piece? There was one of these that was in the cab, and I wonder where it came from. It looked just like this. Now I know exactly what it came from. But it's supposed to go up here and do some sealing and but anyway, these are about 80 bucks a piece for each one of these. About $160 worth of air filters. And last I checked at the air filter store, it seems kind of spendy, but it is what it is. And somebody told me that they've experienced air filter prices on implements that they buy filters for implements. They said over the last year or so, they've literally doubled in price. And I can believe it. I'm seeing it. Now, the question is, a few days later, can I find all my hardware? The answer is, well, here's two of the nuts that I need. As you can see here, we got the one nut that goes on first. I can use my ratchet to run this. It's got a lock nut on it. I can run this in until it bottoms out on that. Then I got to finish it up with a wrench. Oh, by golly, that reached. I thought that didn't reach before, but it just barely gets it there. The filter's tight, which is all that matters. Now, the other thing I was going to do, let me turn some light on out here. Sun's going down already. I was going to put a new belt on it, but then I realized, no, I'm not. And the reason I say that is because the belt's down in here. It's not that hard to get the tension off of the belt. It's getting the belt off the tractor. Now, as you can see, the radiator's right here, right? Fan's right there. Seems pretty straightforward, but after doing some research, in order to get to there's a drive shaft down there. You cannot see it hardly from the top. I can't even get you on it, but straight down through here, right down there, there's a, for lack of a better term, a PTO shaft with a universal joint going straight out of the front of the block through the pulley on the front of the motor, engine, crank, the crank pulley. It goes right into the hydraulic pump. Well, and in order to get that belt off, it's got to come off between the pump and the pulley. The only way to get that out is to take the drive shaft off. The only way to take the drive shaft off is you got to remove this weight. There's one of these on each side. They weigh about 125 pounds apiece. There's another weight down here that bolts on, and there's a bottom weight that weighs 345 pounds is my understanding, reading in the book. Once you get that off, all that off, then you can get to the point where you can remove the oil cooler. Right behind here is the oil tank, hydraulic oil tank, oil cooler, radiator. And once you get that all loosened up, you can take this cover off. Once you get the cover off, you now have access to the bolts on the front of the crankshaft pulley, and then you can pull the pulley that loose and then get your belt slid out. Unbelievable. Well, so this belt is still functional. It's not broken. I will have this laying around until I need it. Might even hang it inside the cab somewhere because why not? Or with the rest of my, let's call it industrial surplus parts, filters and whatnot, oil and stuff that I use for this beast. But we're going to use it till it breaks. You know, the belt sounds terrible to say, or until I have a week with nothing better to do but pull the front end of this apart, or need to pull this front end off. But then at that point, or if the water pump starts leaking, a broken belt or water pump will make me tear the front end off. That's all there is to it. And when that happens, sure, we'll do that. But long as the belt is belting, water pump's pumping, and the alternator is alternating, it stays as is for now, because I got other work I can do. Now, so let's get down in here. I said now, but like I was going to say something else, but different than what I'm getting ready to say. Let's get this belt back on and tighten it back up, and then we'll get the hood back on. I've got all new bolts for the hood because these were a mismatch of everything rusty and crusty. I've got some nice plated hardware with stainless washers. We're going to put that on and get the hood back in place. Then we'll fire it up. So if we're going to fire it up, let's go ahead and get around here and plug it in, because the high today is not warm. The low last night was not warm. It was less warm. And let's plug this in. Now, more to come. This joker here, it is a turbo. This model did not come with the turbo. 550s or 555s, in my diagrams, all my engine diagrams show no indication of a model with a turbo. Somebody has added this on. And a while back. It wasn't a recent ad. This has been on there a while. But I'll get more into that later. My son's done some research. I've done minimal research. But I want to get a better understanding of why that's there. And the only reason you put a turbo on something is why. Come on. Yes. More power. So, the reason I want to get it running back together and move it up to my shop is this is the next project. You guys seen this stuff before? You know exactly what it is. Those of you that haven't seen it before, stay tuned. It's going to get fun and interesting. I got ideas and plans and thoughts that a fella probably shouldn't have about his backhoe. Or maybe he should. So we got to get it back together so I can move it and take some more apart and do some more work. All right. Let's get back in here and get this belt on before it gets too dark and I can't see nothing. Get you right up here. Oh, bird's eye view. So you can see my struggles. The bad part is I did pull the belt off all the pulleys, so now I got to get it back on all the pulleys, and everything I get to stand on is slippery and greasy, and I can't see nothing. Tricky part is to get it around a pulley I can't even see. Must have more light. Okay, I got lights upon lights. Let's see what we can see now. Now let's see if we can get this thing danced up around the bottom pulley. Is a big one. I can't even reach it. Ha! Walked it right on there, baby. That was tight. And now it's loose. See if I can get some priage on it here and get it back, back where we need it to be. All right, the belt is on. Sweet. It was actually easier than I thought it was going to be. I had to actually crank the motor, bumped it. I got it over there tight, and I bumped it, and it went, pew, popped on. Sweet. This thing has 3 different bolt holes on the back of the transmission and 3 different holes in the front of this guard, which is kind of interesting because it allows you to make a lot of adjustments on this belt. A ridiculous amount, actually, which is awesome. So now we'll pull the old rag out. And let's set the hood back on. You guys know as well as I do, that's going to be just as much of a wrestling match to get it back on as it did to take it off, I think. I do have one bolt that I'd love to replace. It's not like it's that heavy, but it is for sure that awkward. Yep, up and over, let's go. The one thing nice about putting it back on is gravity is your friend. 110%. Well, that was much easier. Now to get all the holes to line up, let's put some bolts back in. Got some new hardware. Washer. Bolts. Washer. It's like too much fun. No such thing. Alrighty, back together. Together again. Now, just in case any of you was wondering, was it really due for a filter change? Well, the way I looked at it, wasn't worth the risk, and I want to show you something here. Now, the inner one wasn't that bad. The inner one's pretty clean. This outer one had some pretty thick, nasty going on there. And that's after I dropped it a couple times. Well, I'm not sure the heater's been plugged in quite long enough, but let's see how she does. Ha! There's heater already coming out, or heat already coming out of the heater. That tells me the block's probably warm. So the fact that the heater was blowing out warm air obviously meant there was heat going through the engine block way up here and through that circulation system. That's awesome. One thing's for sure is it's definitely going to breathe a little better with a fresh air filter in it. Now I'm hoping to get a little bit better performance out of the hydraulics now that I got a new oil filter in that as well. That's just one beast of a motor, I'll tell you what. Let's see what we can pull out here. Watch this. Think we got lights? Now we got lights. Once again, nighttime has snuck up on us. Okay, it sneaks up really fast during the week right now. Jeepers creepers, I go to work in the dark and I almost come home from work in the dark. And then I try to catch a little bit of daylight, try to get a little bit of vitamin D out of the sky, but whew. Anyhow, okay. That's all we're going to do on this video, folks. We discovered a turbo. We put new air filters in. We put a new oil filter, or hydraulic oil filter in. We've already changed the engine oil. There is another filter underneath. It's a transmission filter. I want to change that yet, but I'm doing more research there. There's a lot of gallons of fuel. Lots of gallons of oil going on there, and it's expensive. So we'll do that here. Not that I'm going to let expense get in the way of good maintenance, but I gotta meter it out. What's up, kitty? But we also showed you how to remove a broken bolt when you break one off. So I think we covered a lot of stuff in this video. Stay tuned, more stuff coming. I've got a project I'm getting ready to work on here on the bucket. We're in front of the shop with it right now, so don't forget to come back. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit that notification bell so it lets you know when I drop a video. And we'll be able to go through the repairs and the fix-up on this thing together. I'm getting ready to do some... Oh, there's Ella. That's our oldest dog. My wife just let her in the backyard. All right. This is Michael saying if it ain't broke, fix it till it is. We'll see you on the next video. And don't forget, 1 hour a day on your project will move it ahead. Time to put in some more 1 hours. Goodbye.